If you want to play with makeup and you haven't done so in a while and you want to create a very colorful look with the products that you have in your collection already, so you don't want to buy new products, you want to do it with products that you already have, or you want to be creative with a project pen product, today is the day, because I'm going to be doing exactly the same. I don't know about you guys, but I have been doing a project pen for the past year, and every once in a while you get a notification from me that I've uploaded an update on how it's doing. And every single time I have to tell you, well, the eyeshadow palettes, unfortunately, have not been used that often. I went on Pinterest, obviously, because where else? I mean, come on, you have to feel the same way. The only thing that I don't like about Pinterest lately is that there are so many ads, and I feel like, why? Anyway, I came across this beautiful look, which is just mind-blowing. It is so gorgeous. As you can see, that really cat-eyed line, that beautiful purpley thing right here. And I was like, I want to do that. So that is exactly what I'm going to do today. The color scheme is kind of like one of my project pen palettes, which is this one from Beauty Bay. So I'm gonna use that one as well today. I'm gonna do my base makeup with some of the products that I have lying around. Not a whole lot of them are project pen products because I'm currently at my boyfriend's house, obviously. So I don't have all my makeup here just yet. First of all, I'm gonna bronze up the face because I desperately need some shape in my face. I need some dimension. I'm currently only wearing the House Labs foundation and the NYX Bare With Me concealer serum. These two I already have applied to my face. I'm gonna throw it back a little bit. This is the Rare Beauty liquid contour in the shade Gentle. I kind of want to give my face a little bit of shape because, as you can see, it's looking very one-dimensional, and that's kind of something that you want to avoid because dimension to the face is the most beautiful thing. It's a kind of cool tone color for me, as you can see, but it blends out to slightly warm. Then I'm gonna take my e.l.f. buffing foundation brush, and what you want to do when you're shaping the face, especially with a contour, you can see that it's looking a little bit like shadowy, is really rubbing the products into the brush. That is something that it's just a tip that I want to give you. Your hand is your best friend, and that is where you put almost every single product, especially for the base, and then you blend it into the brush before you apply it to the face. It's the best way to make sure that your makeup looks I might have just made eye contact with a neighbor. But it's the best way to ensure that your makeup doesn't look heavy, there are not too many layers or just like products on your face laying around, and you have one nice even canvas. And as you can see, this shade really contours the face, your face. And then I do apply a little bit on the nose as well. My face is like quite rounded, so I usually want to focus my structure on my cheeks to make it less round, or emphasize the roundness in a flattering way. What I don't want to do is make my forehead shorter, because to me that just kind of makes my face look a lot shorter. But if you have a face which is a little bit more oval or oblong, or just like a little bit longer, you can definitely use contour on your forehead. Just make sure to not like apply it directly on the face, but instead use that method of using it on the back of your hand first and then applying it to the face. It's gonna look a lot more seamless. I do want to bronze my face just a little bit to give it a little bit smidge of warmth. If you want to do that, you want to go in with a very subtle bronzer and a big old brush so it looks very diffused and very light-handed. This is the Nabla Skin Bronzing Sun-Kissed Effect Bronzing Powder, and this is in the shade Ambra. This is one of my favorite bronzers, has been in my collection for so long. And this is a Boozy Shop Face Finish Blush Brush. Then what I want to do is just pick up some product, and then you can see that I've picked up some product. And then what you want to do, always, is just like get rid of the top layer that's on top that is going to be too much. And then I want to apply this on my forehead. And you might want to do the same if you want like a little bit of a bronzy look, but not too much, because I've put no contour on my forehead. So I do want to have a little bit of like dimension to my forehead, but by using bronzer, so it doesn't make it shorter, but it just kind of bronzes up your forehead a little bit. And you can immediately see the difference that it makes without it being overpowering for the entire makeup look. Also, I know that my hair looks crazy, but I'm gonna do that at the end of the video because that's just kind of what I want to do. I feel a lot calmer in today's video. Usually I'm like all over the place and I want to give my opinions and my reviews, but someone told me bring value to your viewers and tell them what they kind of want to hear. So I've been trying to put myself in your place and what you want to hear from me. I feel like I'm a little bit overexposed, so I'm gonna turn down the lights a little. So as you can see on my face, it already gives the complexion a lot of dimension, a little bit of a structure. It's not looking like one-dimensional anymore. So that is what we did. We have a really nice base makeup right now. So we're gonna moving on to the next step, which is my favorite, which is blush, obviously. So for the look that we're gonna do, we're gonna work with purples and a little bit of cool tones and like black. So you want your blush to be not too warm, first of all, because the colors that we're gonna use are cool toned in nature, but you want to use something that is a little bit more bright and a little bit more like on the cooler side or on the neutral side. I'm going to use the Essence Baby Got Blush blush stick, and this is in the shade It Rubbed Off. So I don't know what I do with these blush stick formulas. Very important, don't disrupt your foundation base that you've just created and go like this. Don't swipe it on your face. This is very important. It's something that I had to learn the hard way. What I usually recommend is, what I usually do and what I recommend doing is taking the palm of your thumb right here, applying the blush. This is a gorgeous blush color, right? So this is a Boozy Shop angled contour and blush and bronzer brush. As you can see, it's kind of angled like this. So again, tapping it into the blush, and then we're gonna apply that to the face. Now this is a very light brush of blush. I always do that. And for this look, I kind of want the blush to be subtle. I have a quite round face, and what I usually do, especially with my everyday makeup look, is place my blush on the apples of my cheeks and then do a little trick with foundation where I do it like this to create dimension. But because this is a little bit of a creative look, I'm not doing that. And I'm applying the blush on my cheekbones because I kind of want to connect the blush later on with the eyelid. With my base makeup today, I want to have an initial base layer and then do the eyes, and then you can see if your base makeup needs anything. But when you do the eyes, they are a lot more intense and they're gonna give a different aspect of structure and dimension to your base makeup and just the way that your face looks. To balance it out again, it might happen that you have to reapply a bronzer or a blush to balance the contrast in your face a little. So that is what the blush looks right now. Very subtle, lightly cool toned, beautifully blended out. So right now I'm gonna go into the eyes. I'm not going to powder my face just yet. Right now we're gonna jump into the eye makeup. I'm gonna do one eye off camera and I'll be right back to show you how we do the other ones, because I kind of want to figure it out for myself before I show you how to do this eye look. I'm gonna be right I'm back. So I'm back. I did one eye off camera and now I'm gonna show you how I did this look on this side of my face. Honestly, compared to the comparison pictures, I kind of slayed. The only issue is that my tear duct started watering and now I'm stuck with like not a sharp line in my inner corner. So I'm hoping that on this side it's gonna be able to be better. First things first, you want to prime your eyelids with some kind of primer, eye primer, concealer. I usually use concealer just because it's what is available to me, and I am not in the mood, if I spend money on makeup, to spend it on an eye primer that I'm barely going to use, especially for like these more intricate, like creative makeup looks. I am going to wash it off at the end of the day. I'm not gonna go outside, so I don't really need this to last as long. I applied the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer from Charlotte Tilbury just because of the fact that this is too light for me to use on my face, so I usually use it to create creative eye looks which are colorful, which also kind of make the colors pop a little bit more. Once I've done that, I'm going to set my eyelid a little bit. You want to have a little bit of tackiness on the eyelid, but not too much, because otherwise the colors are not going to blend as well. The palette that I'm going to use today is obviously my Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, and to set my eyelids I'm going to use this shade Tempera. You want to tap it on first, and then you want to kind of like swirl it around and making sure that you have every nook and cranny to really blend this out. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit because I want you to see what I'm actually doing on the eyes. So that means that you're gonna see my mouth and my eyes up close. I'm sorry for that, but it's just the way that it is. On the inspiration picture, you can see, I'm gonna pop it right here, you can see that there is a very orangey transition shade, which is also what we have on this side of the eye. I'm gonna use my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, Soft Glam palette again for this, and I'm gonna use the shade Orange Soda, which is a very light orange. A fluffy blending brush, just your average fluffy blending brush, and we're gonna pop that into the crease area, but focusing it a little bit on the outer corner. And you can take it in a little bit, like into the inner corner, but try to not use that too much. So once you feel like, okay, there are no more traceable lines, that you can really see where we put down the color, and everything looks really nice and blended and just like a wash of color with the most pigmentation right here, then you're doing a great job and you can stop. This is a Boozy Shop eyeshadow brush. Wow. Anyway, it's like a flat packing brush, but it has a little bit of a fluffy aspect to it, so it's not too flat and rigid. It has a little bit of flexibility in the brush. And with that, I'm gonna take the shade Mulberry in the Soft Glam palette, very carefully, like dipping into it twice, tapping on the excess, and I'm gonna lay down my brush first in the very corner of the eye, right here, as you can see. I'm gonna put down a little bit of product right there. Especially with darker colors, you want to be very careful where you apply them, how you apply them, and not using too much color at once. But right now we want to create dimension and a slightly different eye shape, which is a little bit more winged out and darker along the edges. So we're gonna start with Mulberry. Like I said, you want to place that first on the very outer corner of the eye and kind of following the shape that where your eyeliner would be. So I'm gonna go into the outer V. There is no blending just yet, we're just placing down the pigment together. And then again, we're picking up some of that Mulberry shade and removing the excess, and what we're gonna do now is kind of go in a little bit along the lash line. So you're just kind of placing that pigment along the lash line right here, forming almost like a shadow liner. See, right there, that is what we want. So now we're gonna go back in with the shade Orange Soda, and we're gonna re-intensify that shade a little bit. And also, we're just gonna blend out the edges of that brown shade. You can see that we're already headed towards a similar path as the other one. What I'm doing now is I'm gonna take a slight blending brush. This is the Spectrum X Katie Jane Hughes 17 brush. I'm gonna dip it into that Mulberry shade, but again, be very careful and tap off most of the product. And we're just gonna take the edges and we're gonna blend out this color a little bit more. We're gonna bring it into the center of the face right here. You can see that it's a little bit more warm toned. It's definitely a little bit more warm toned than I was expecting. And if you go out of bounds, that's fine. We're gonna clean it up anyway with powder and concealer later on. So if you go a little bit past that like line, the imaginary line, that's fine. So now that we have a general blend of this eyeshadow, we're gonna go in with the Beauty Bay X Love Notes palette, and I'm going to take this kind of ruby shade, which is called Ruby right here, because I want the entire look to have a little bit more of a reddish tone instead of like this kind of brownie essence. And then you want to take that color and just go on top of like the Mulberry shade that we used, and this is gonna transform it into slightly more of a reddish shade, which is what we want. But again, be very careful when doing this. And then you want to take the brush that you used orange soda with, and again, just kind of blend out the edges. Take your time with packing it. Just take your time with this kind of eyeshadow look. Once you've done that, we're gonna go back into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, and I'm gonna take the shade Rustic, which is this kind of like lighty, warm brown color. Tapping on the excess, obviously. And we're gonna deepen up this color a little bit. So we're just kind of putting it on the ruby and the maroon, kind of putting it on all of those. And then you just kind of want to go back in with the blending brush from Burnt Orange. Blending with this look is like essential. It's basically all you're gonna do. It's a lot of blending, a lot of going back and forth, a lot of re-intensifying, blending again, re-intensifying, blending again. Now we're gonna go in with slightly darker, and this is gonna be like the final deepening up of this eyeshadow look. So you want to go into the shade Cypress Umber, which is like this dark brown color. Again, this is very pigmented, so you want to be very careful with this and tap off as much of this product as you can, and then just baby steps intensifying this outer corner. And I'm really focusing it on the outer V, so really like right here and right here along the lash line. I'm not going above my brow bone because that is going to ruin the dimension and the transitioning, the ombre of colors that we have right now. And then you want to use the burnt orange brush again to kind of give everything a final blend. But we're gonna do this kind of portion of the eyelid right now, which is like the inner eyelid space. What I did, and what I really recommend that you do as well, this is a Catrice, or it's an Essence Stay and Play gel eyeliner, and it is in like a nudie pale color. Mine looks busted from just using it on my other eye, so I'm gonna sharpen it a little bit. Because it's in a pencil form, you can be really precise with where you draw the cut crease. And I personally like doing a cut crease or any kind of like drawing a blank space on the eyelid area using this kind of pencil. So when looking at the eye, you can see, this is very important, you can see that we have this kind of like blank lid space, which is what we want to keep. And also I have this almost invisible line right here because we had a little bit of eyeshadow that we used and we put it in the inner corner. It almost created a invisible line, and that is the line that I'm gonna follow for the cut crease area. So I'm gonna take this pencil and I'm gonna draw a line. I have to be kind of quiet right now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna warm it up first on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna draw a line where the invisible line is. You see? Right there. So then you just kind of want to fill in this space. Next up, I'm gonna take a flat packing brush like this one. It's very flat, and then we're gonna use that to kind of blend out that eye pencil. And I'm also gonna use this later on to kind of set this area. So this is kind of what you want to have at the end of like using this. So you have a really nice drew. Anyway, you have a really nice space that you created by kind of penciling it down on your eyelid. Now you also kind of want to set that. So I'm going to use the shade Cotton in the Beauty Bay Love Notes palette, and I'm just going to set this so it doesn't crease. It has a really nice longevity, and so we can actually create some other eyeshadow on top of it. What you want to do now, because we have a very clear line between the outer corner and then the light part, so you want to take the brush that you used with the shade Mulberry, anything that you use to create this kind of like darkness, and you want to tap on the outer corner again, and then going to the center and just kind of tapping between the line of dark and light. For the next step in our plan of this creative makeup look, we have to do eyeliner, and I was shared Skitless on this side, and I'm shared Shitless on this side as well. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna do the normal eyeliner like I always would, just very straight and then inwards. And then you can see on this side we have a little bit of a nook right where the crease is, and then we have the lower lashes, but that's for like later. So I'm gonna have to concentrate for a second and do my natural eyeliner, and then we're gonna do the other wing as well, and then it's time for all the other stuff. But right now I kind of need to focus. Ooh, first line. Now is the fun part. Now we're gonna do the shimmers. So this is the Spectrum X Katie Jane Use 24 brush. I'm gonna use the shade Princess, which is this one right here, which is beautiful lavender. And I'm gonna use a little bit of my Catrice Prime and Fine Multi-Talent Fixing Spray. I usually have Duraline to kind of create an eyeliner with eyeshadow, but I don't have that with me right now, so I'm just gonna use the spray and then the eyeshadow. And then with that color combination, we're just gonna follow this line right there. And it's gonna have to build up a little bit because it's not Duraline, so it doesn't mix as well. I'm just kind of building up that color. It's a little bit difficult to see, but it's there. And once you build up the color, it's gonna be obviously great because look at it. Then I'm gonna take my finger in the same shade Princess, and I'm gonna put that in the center of the eyeball, right in the center of the eyeball, just like we did right here. And this is gonna be the base for like the shimmers. And then I'm taking my brush, we're just kind of intensifying it. And we have some individuals that I'm gonna use. So this is from Glam Shop, and this is in the shade Asena. It looks very blue on camera, but in real life it has a lot more of a purple shift. And I'm just applying that on the center again of the eyeball. Then with a little bit of a setting spray and a little bit of that tiny brush, I'm also gonna use that shade right on the line of that inner corner. Okay, I'm gonna clean up my dusk a little bit. I'm going to apply some mascara on the upper lashes, and I'll be right back to do the lower lashes and the rest of the makeup. So I did my lower lashes off camera because it got dark so quickly and I really had to hurry because I have a couple of other things to do today. But obviously because I've been doing all of that, my eyes started to water and I have a little bit of issue with bleeding right now. So I'm gonna fix that later with a little bit of concealer and a little bit of eyeliner. But now we're gonna do a little bit of the lips, and that is basically it for today's makeup look. Why is this hair like not vibing today? So for today I was kind of thinking between two shades of my MAC lipsticks. I have Folio, which is really going to erase the look of your lips. So this is Folio. It's a very pale light browny nude. It has a lot of olive in it as well. And then I have the shade Alone Time, which is very, very popular right now on the internet, which is also like this brownie shade, but it has a lot more warmth. So I think for today I'm gonna go with Alone Time because I feel like it's going to complement the warmth and the cool tones of my eyeshadow look a lot. So we're gonna do that. And for the lip liner, I'm gonna go with my Project Pan one. This is the Catrice Plumping Lip Liner. This is just like a dusty rose kind of color with some brown to it. You're gonna want to tap off some of the Vaseline that's on your lips and then apply the lip liner. So this is my Project Pen one. This is basically all that I have left of my lip liner in my Project Pen, which is so exciting. I'm so excited to do my update at the end of October. Well, I'm gonna go in the center of the top and bottom of my lips. I feel like that kind of gives it the most plump look. Again, it's kind of all depending on your lip shape and what you have. Figure out what works for you and what doesn't. One of the things that really does not work for me is elongating or really emphasizing the lines on the corners of my mouth. I find that that doesn't necessarily work for my lip shape. So when I want my lips to look plump, I go on top and on the bottom. And one little tip that I want to give you is to smile while you're doing your lip lines. Not too much, but just like a little bit of a smile, you know? Just like a little... I'm gonna take my finger and I'm just gonna blend out that lip liner a little bit. Normally you have a pencil for this as well, but I can't find mine and I don't have anything similar. And I think I'm gonna use Alone Time today. So this is Alone Time from MAC. It's a beautiful mauvey brown, as you can see. Wait, this is a beautiful mauvey brown and this is the swatch. So as you can see, it has a little bit of warmth, but it's fairly cool tone as well. And then tapping off the excess with your finger for a very blurred, natural look. Oh yeah, I'm gonna attempt to fix the eyeliner situation right now very quickly. I am so scared to do this. I'm gonna take some powder and I'm gonna powder and then I'm taking my NYX Epic Ink Liner. And we're gonna attempt to fix this a little. Okay, I think it's working. I think it's working. That'll do. Yeah, I'm already crying, so... you know. This was like giving birth. Oh my god. So my camera shut off again. I redid my under eyes, which are still looking a little bit like crepey, but my eyes keep on watering, and I just need to finish this video. But yeah, this was today's video. I had so much fun, honestly. It's so nice. I'm very happy with the way that the look came out, and I hope I was able to give you some nice tips and tricks to take with you to have some more fun with makeup, to enjoy yourself with makeup. And I just overall hope you enjoyed today's video as well. Pin my hair back like this because there was just no, I feel like it fits the vibe, you know. I feel like we came really close to the reference picture as well, so I'm very happy with everything and how everything came out. And I'm gonna try and film a different video today, but it's getting really dark outside, so I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you learned something. I hope you had some fun with makeup that you already own, and I will see you in the future. Bye!